Welcome back to Sustain Hawaii. So today we're going to be transplanting some ʻŌlena or turmeric. Someone planted a loy not knowing that ʻŌlena was planted there. So could have been in a dormant stage when it was planted, but anyways, I'm going to try to find a new home. So here I'm just loosening the soil around the ʻŌlena with a pitchfork. Trying to remove whatever rocks, weeds are around it. So after some much needed digging, I finally got it out. Well, the main cluster at least. So by the looks of it, some of this ʻŌlena is dry. Here's some sweet potatoes I also pulled. Random sweet potatoes that I'm going to try to propagate later on. But yeah, these ʻŌlena are very skinny. They look pretty sick, and they're all covered in ants. So I'm not too sure if that kind of had an effect on why they were growing so poorly, but there you go. So after I took majority of the dirt off, I guess, I decided to take the ʻŌlena to the nearby stream, which is pretty close by, and just wash off all the excess dirt and all the rest of the dirt left. Something I want to note is that for the ones that I was planning on replanting, I should have took off the roots. As you can see, I left the roots on, but I guess if I wanted to transplant it this way, I should have took off the roots. For this type of planting, you want to at least chop the maybe halfway down the stalk, and you should be ready to plant like kalo. So here we have a typical rhizome from the ʻŌlena plant, and here's another one. The first one I showed you was more, I guess, on the more healthy side, and the second one, you can tell it's kind of sickly, and a little bit more shriveled up. So what I did was just removed all the dry, sickly ones, and I'm just going to plant the healthy ones. So I just used a pitchfork and picked a spot in the mala, kind of far away from the other plants that I'm growing, just so these guys have room to branch out and so they don't disturb any of the surrounding plants. So ʻŌlena typically grows in, I guess, well-drained soil, according to the report I found. But here in Palolo, yeah, our soil is pretty clay-like, and before, I guess, a couple months, a fellow colleague of mine came and he helped me. He dumped a good layer of, I think, tree trimmings and some mulch, just so I would have a good place to plant in the coming months. So like I mentioned before, I should have removed the roots before I planted them, and maybe I should have cut them a little bit shorter. But the depth, I think I got a pretty good depth out of all these, and I guess you gotta kind of plant them at a certain depth to make sure, one, they get enough moisture, and two, so it'll kind of keep them firm, keep them from falling. So you're gonna want to plant these guys at least a third of the plant into the soil. For the spacing, doesn't really matter. 6 inches, I guess, is the spacing that I grew these ʻŌlena at. They tend to grow well in crowded areas with each other, and they're just gonna branch out, and the rhizomes are just gonna continue to grow and run. I really want to encourage everybody to start growing ʻŌlena. ʻŌlena in Hawaii can be found at prices of maybe 15 to 20 bucks a pound. So it's really advantageous to grow your own. Well, that's practically it. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see and you want to follow my mahiai journey, please like and subscribe. Aloha.